I wish there was 1,000 people waiting for
Yeah,
us,
there
but there
will
will
be.
be.
There will be at some point. Well,
Right on.
the more people that share it,
Right
it
on.
really helps us. So once we get in that new podcast studio,
Oh, yeah, that'll be great.
hey, we're live. We're live right now.
Yay.
Of course, it's just me and you and probably Rob. So you're doing okay?
I'm doing okay. Thank you.
Who did I run into the other day? It happens every week. Hey, you're the guy who does the podcast with Claudia. I'm like, yeah, that's me. I'm the guy.
And I'm so grateful.
Every time I'm in your store, somebody says something about it.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. So let me see.
Yeah. How was your week? You had a good week?
Yeah, it was good. I'm just, I'm tired. I hosted a big 2,000 person disco party for charity and Friday night. And I'm
awesome.
Still tired from that. Because I'm old. I'm getting old.
Hey, I'm older than you, and I'm a spring chicken, but so you're still a spring chicken.
I do feel better, though, because of all the supplements.
Right,
so.
Right.
All right. If everybody's ready, we've been on about a minute. So let's roll with it and see where we're going to go today.
Let's roll.
Good Health by Claudia podcast with me, Denny Schaefer, a production of Denny Radio. It is episode 33. Yes.
Yay.
All right, today it's corporate takeover ? For those of you that are watching, put your questions in the comments. Claudia will answer them as I see them. I'll read them to her, and she can answer your questions. Also, very, very important, please share this video while you're watching. Share it with all your people because there's a lot of people out there that need this information, and they're not going to get it anywhere except right here on Good Health by Claudia.
Right on.
The information contained in these podcasts is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or health condition. Please consult a qualified healthcare professional if you do have a medical condition. The FDA has not validated the information on this podcast, which represents the opinions of the hosts or the guests. So we're talking about the concerns about the big conglomerates that are buying up companies that were once family and privately owned, and what that means for the future of supplements, mom and pop stores. I mean, we're going to get into a lot of information today. We're not going to specifically talk about products, and we're not going to show you any products.
Correct.
So Denny won't be able to pilfer more products like your husband emailed me about pilfering your products. I'm like, hey, she comes over to the house, she puts them in front of me. Wouldn't I be rude if I didn't accept them? Anyway, so today is
but what's cool is that you're using them. You're learning about them.
I am.
And you got to use the products to learn how they work. So it's a beautiful thing.
Remember back in the 60s and 70s when they would have the crash test dummies in the cars to show how safe they were?
Yes.
I am your crash test dummy. That's my job.
Well, thanks.
If the shoe fits. All right, so let's corporate takeover ?
Right.
Is this a serious issue in the health food supplement industry?
Well, it is. To many of us, it is a very serious issue. And you have to remember that the industry of natural health, it has, in fact, I brought this book. It's a very hard book to find. It's the one and only book that I and many in our industry think was ever written about our industry. It's the history of our industry.
There it is right there.
And my friend Kevin from last week, it took him 6 months to find that book for me. There's only one copy that I know of. And
is this it?
Well, this is the second one copy because the other one doesn't belong to me and we can't find it. So I was so grateful he found this. But here's the point. And by the way, I'm going to just segue for a moment.
Well, let me say the title of the book.
Okay, go ahead.
You're mentioning the book. It's called More Than One Slingshot, How the Health Food Industry is Changing America.
Yes.
By Frank Murray with John Tarr. Okay, now.
I should have said this earlier. Yes, last week I misspoke that we were going to have the guest on from Life Extension. That's next week. Just so you know, I had to clarify that.
People are here every week.
So we are.
They love to hear us talk. And if we have guests, great. So make a note of it, people.
Right. So at any rate, back to this. So for the people that really grew this industry that is now worth billions, you're talking since the 1920s. Mom, pa, well, the first companies were really the food companies, and they were looking for an outlet to sell their whole wheat grains rather than white refined. So it really started with food that I am aware of and from this book, but it grew into this beautiful synergy, this beautiful teamwork between the mom and pa health food stores. At one time there were over 10,000 stores in the United States, where we were under, we believe, under 3,000, which is not good, but nonetheless. So there was this beautiful teamwork of heartfelt, caring people that wanted to teach the country about how to embrace their health through clean food, through herbology, through homeopathy. And for many, many years, the only place you could find all that cool stuff was in a health food store. And of course, those original, I know many of the people that from when I was 16. Of course, I always say I'm now 65. It's a long time. Some of those customers are still living. They're in their 90s. They're close to, some of them are even in their hundreds at this point. But those were the original health nuts. And I always tell them the original health nuts were the smart ones.
Yeah, I know. We used to make fun of the health nuts.
Exactly.
Now I am one.
Well, but remember, it's this term health nut, is we're seeing all these terms of ridiculing people when they believe in natural things.
Right.
It's this bullying, it's this public bullying that starts from who knows where, but it becomes this mantra. So, I've been called every name in the book. Like, I care. I know what I know how I live. I'm grateful. And I don't, because the proof is in the when people embrace their health and are mindful and care about what they're eating and drinking and how they're supporting their immune system, those typically are not the people that are dealing with severe issues. The people
So you're saying there's a connection between the health nuts having healthier lives and the people that ridicule health nuts who aren't as healthy as the health nuts. Is that what I'm hearing you say?
It's fair to say that most people that naysay nutrition are not the ones living it. Right. So one of my very dear, she's spiritual family to me. I met her when I was 16, Mrs. Carson. She beautiful family, beautiful woman. She passed at 107.
Wow. That's a great run.
So it is. And we have customers that are 97, 99. I mean, these are people that were mindful and cared and took care of their health. So we can say that it doesn't matter, but the proof is in the end result.
Right.
So
they took care of their temple.
They took care of their temple.
Which is very important.
Sorry, I'm warm.
You're getting warmed up. You're getting hot.
I'm always warm.
You want me to turn the AC on in here? I can do that.
Okay.
I have a fan. I can just turn it on and blow on you. Hold on. I'm going to turn the fan on.
I've been warm temperature since I was a kid. My mom was always telling me, come in from the cold. And
oh, it's not plugged in.
That's okay. And put my coat on.
No, I'm plugging it in. You keep talking.
All right. So at any rate, here's the issue. And this is a serious issue. We deal with this conversation almost daily anymore. People are coming in. They're very concerned about all these companies that are being purchased by Procter & Gamble. Oh, that feels good. Thank you. Appreciate it. Nice air.
Hot flash.
Thank you. No, I'm always warm.
Are you past the menopausal?
Oh, yeah, I'm always warm.
All right, you're not menopausal?
No, Jim says it's my Arab blood.
It could be. All right, but this is, you are so passionate for this this discussion. I'm glad that we're having it, and we could have it actually weekly.
Yeah, I mean,
we really could.
It's a big conversation because from preparing for this half-hour conversation, there's 10 other conversations we can have from this.
Yeah.
So to simplify it, when we have companies that have been grown with heart and soul for a particular philosophy, for something that these companies truly believe in. That's why the quality of our companies have always been so wonderful, because they care. So when you see these companies that customers have known for 40, 50 years, and all of a sudden they're owned by these big conglomerates that are making other products that are loaded with things that they don't want in their body, right? They don't want to support these companies, and I honor that. I mean, P&G. It's interesting. I was reading about P&G. Started in 1837. I didn't realize that, by two men, Mr. Procter and Mr. Gamble, and they started with making soap and candles, and I thought that was absolutely fascinating. Of course, now they're, all over the world and they've got all these products. So I honor how these companies have started, many of them that grew like that, but it's what they've become, what
Mhm.
they so, Procter and Gamble, all these companies offer products that I personally don't want to purchase or eat or drink or use on my body, and that's my choice. But now they own some of our wonderful companies.
So when you say wonderful companies, what's happening is these truly organic, faithful to the mission of clean,
Yes,
ingredients.
yes.
They are selling out to the P&Gs of the world.
And then they're getting, so for instance, here's
Now,
an
so that's true, because I have a follow up.
yes.
Okay, now is P&G stripping out some of the healthy ingredients for profit? Are they leaving them alone, or what's happening there?
Well, that's a very good question. I mean, I knew the owner of New Chapter who P&G purchased. I knew him over the years, and for that company to sell to a P&G that makes other products that have ingredients in them that don't meet that philosophy,
Right.
for me, if you're going to believe in something, put your heart into it.
Stay with
Dig in.
it. Right.
Don't be, this, people want to say, oh, they care about quality, but then they do other things. To me, that's hypocritical. You either
Right.
live what you believe or you don't,
Right.
right?
No compromise.
Exactly. And so
that's what it is.
it's
These clean
yes,
companies are compromising and basically selling out for money.
for money. But here's the thing, because I was raised around, as I said, I'm from my family is Lebanese and Syrian. I was raised with a lot of businessmen because there's a lot of entrepreneurs in the Arab culture.
Mhm.
So I was raised with a lot of businessmen, very successful. And of course, women weren't supposed to be in business. But that's a different story. Of course,
That's a whole nother podcast.
That's a whole nother podcast. But nonetheless, I understand business. I get business. I get the whole thing. You'd you'd have to be a saint to walk away from hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
In the case of um, Garden of Life, they sold for billions, 2.3 billion. I mean, you'd have to be a saint to say no, thank you. Here's my issue. One of them. My mother always taught my brothers and I that life is an exchange of energy. It's a
Right.
give and it's a take.
Mhm. I agree.
It's a sharing.
Mhm.
That's what makes it balanced. But what saddens me is that these companies that are selling out for hundreds of millions, and in the case of this particular, Garden of Life, they sold out for billions. There's no give back. There's nothing coming back to the little pa stores that grew them to be worth that money.
So,
And remember, it's the mom and pa stores that grew all this company.
Right.
It was nobody else.
because nobody else was carrying. You
Nobody else.
weren't going into the big grocery stores and able to get
No.
these. But then when P&G buys them, then they get in,
Exactly.
and they're not at the mom and pop stores anymore.
Exactly. And so what's happened is these companies sell out for millions or billions. They walk away,
Mhm.
and they leave the independents to deal with the impact of that, which is very difficult. We're the ones going to work every day out of love, out of heart and soul,
Mhm.
educating why these products are so important, educating how to use them properly, educating why they're good quality. We do the education. They took all that and left, and everything went mass market. And now you've got retailers trying to deal with the internet sales, people buying on Amazon, people going to mass market. And how many times have customers told me they were at some big box store and saw some company, a supplement company, that was thrown in the markdown bin for $1 a bottle? I mean, it devalues, in my opinion, it devalues the whole thing of what our industry is really all about, because our industry started with heart and soul. The big corporate, the conglomerates buying it, when it again, if they buy a supplement company but they sell a bunch of products that are toxic, that doesn't impress me. I have no interest of being involved in that. And I'll tell you, here's an example. Here's a perfect example. Burt's Bees. grown in our industry, was a beautiful product. Now, in the lip balm, there's canola oil. Well, guess what? A lot of people don't want canola oil. The economic influences are trying to convince everybody that canola is wonderful. Well, it goes against how I was raised personally. My mother always said, stick to the food that God put here. And that means food before factories. Well, canola oil wasn't around until what? The late 40s, early 50s. If cultures before us didn't eat it, I certainly don't need it, don't want it, don't care about it. So now, and actually, that's how canola oil entered our industry. Years ago, there was no canola oil in the natural product sector at all. The oils were clean, whether it was whatever, olive oil, coconut oil, whatever. They were clean oils that have been used for thousands of years. Now, so many of our products have canola. I won't bring in new products with canola. It's a difficult situation because as we grow these products and then they change the quality. Now, what do you do with it? I don't want it on my shelf. That's why when these companies sell, we get rid of them immediately. And
Well,
I'm proud of
you know
that.
what? That's good.
And you know what?
You take a stand.
We do. And the community knows when they come in our store, we are putting the best quality products because it's not just what things we're selling. This is our life. This is how we eat. This is how we live. This is how we believe. Do I have some products on the shelves that I don't want? Yes, because they were long time products that a lot of people are using. They get dumbed down. And now, we have to educate the customer why we're getting rid of it. It's a lot of work. We do it because we do it from our heart.
Right.
But it's another one is Tom's of Maine. That was a great company. We sold it for years. And
is that Tom's toothpaste?
Yes, Tom's toothpaste.
I use Tom's toothpaste.
They were purchased by Colgate,
which is another toothpaste company.
And to my knowledge, and if anybody if this is not accurate, please let me know. But I've asked several people in our industry. Does anybody remember Tom's of Maine toothpaste having fluoride in it before it was purchased?
I don't know.
Well, you won't know that. But,
I wouldn't know.
But so I don't believe, many of us don't believe it did. And a lot of people don't want fluoride. It doesn't matter what the experts say and trying to tell everybody this is good. And,
don't they have a toothpaste without it?
They do.
I think that's the one I use.
They do. But it's something that a lot of our customers are upset about.
Right.
These are the things, because remember, the sector of America that was shopping in health food stores, they were making the extra effort to find quality products for their health.
They're reading labels.
So yes, exactly. So it's tough for us when now we have the big conglomerates, Nestle's owns Garden of Life. They own Pure Encapsulation. They own Wobenzyme. All of these were products. Solgar was started in 1946. Years ago, we used to have literally 12 feet full shelves of Solgar. It was a great product line. We don't carry it anymore. We're not here to support Nestle's. I don't want to give and I think that this is a very important piece of it for me personally. I've always believed as a consumer, we have the power.
Yes.
We're just not using it.
We do.
It's our dollars that are fueling every company that there is. Well, if you have a company that you don't like, don't give them your money. It's just that simple to me. But,
pretty simple.
Well,
now,
there you go.
Do most mom and pop health stores, like you said, there were once was 10,000, now it's somewhere around 3,000.
We think it's under
somewhere
3,000.
around there, under 3,000. Okay. Yeah. So do they all have your type of philosophy, or are they all over the board?
Well, unfortunately, they don't. And that's why it's my hope and my prayer and my goal to get more stores to take that stand, to take a step to get rid of these companies that are not supporting us anymore. Why continue to support a company that's not supporting you? But remember, when we first got rid of Garden of Life and we got rid of, New Chapter, and we got rid of all and some of the reps would say, you're missing some big money. And I'd say, listen, we're grateful for the dollars that come to us. They come to us in the integrity that we want. Mm-hmm. And whatever dollar we're missing over here, we're going to support another wonderful company that's doing it right and make those dollars back.
So
And that's how I feel.
So do you try and find other companies to replace the companies that you are not?
It's hard. Yes, it's hard.
But it's hard.
But there's a lot of products like Emergency. Emergency was purchased by I should know that. Emergency was purchased several years ago. We grew Emergency in mom and pop stores.
I don't know what that is.
Now, Emergency
What is
was
that?
it's the packet of vitamin C with the electrolytes.
Okay.
But we sell a wonderful company that's it's privately owned. It's been in our industry over 50 years. Remember when we talked about the trace minerals?
Yes.
And we're going to have hopefully, we're going to hopefully.
You are all over the place today. You are fired up.
Well, because
you don't even have your headphones on right. Put them on the front of your
they're-
forehead.
Well,
There you go.
because from this conversation, when you really get into the other issues, it's a big, big issue.
Oh, it is.
And we can't get into it all at one time. But yeah, I get fired up about
I
these
don't blame
things.
you. You should, because
But
there's
you know
nobody
what?
else getting the truth out there.
I always say, health is everything. Nobody wants to be sick.
Nope.
Health is everything. It's a greatest value that we can bring besides love and all those things to our life. It's about being healthy. And we're constantly, we're dealing with on a daily basis people that are so compromised from what they've been through from Western medicine, and they don't know about herbs and they wish they would have known. And it's what we deal with. So I do get fired up about it.
All right. So more than one slingshot, how the health food industry is changing America. You said that this is the only copy you know of that's out there.
Yes.
Without, going through all of it, what is the Reader's Digest version of what this book is and what it's meant to you?
It's just simply because it's the only book we know of that talks about how it all started from the 1920s. I love history. I think it's important to understand where we're at. We have to understand how we got here.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what this book does. And it goes through all of the court cases that we fought, and well, not all of them, but many of them to protect, long before DeShay, to protect food, clean food and supplements. It's in this little book, and it's a cool history. So one day we're going to dig into that book a little more.
All right. You mentioned DeShay. That is the Dietary Supplement Health Education Act of 1994.
Yes. So we're always going to talk about DeShay.
Okay. So what did DeShay do for your industry?
Well, one of the biggest things it was the first time that actually supplements were given a category. So it validated the industry. It gave guidelines to how the FDA could, they have to prove that something is dangerous before they pull it off the market. In years past, if they wanted to pull a supplement, they just pulled it. Without any,
that's it. No questions,
right.
Just pulled it.
So, but it also, it allowed structure function claims. And this is important because prior to 1994 and DeShay passing, when a customer looked at a bottle, it gave them no information on what that herb or what that product was meant to do.
That's DeShay that brought that
exactly.
to us.
So here the retailers were under tremendous scrutiny as to how they could educate. We have to be very careful that we never prescribe, that we don't diagnose, which we don't. We talk about health. We talk about the education of health. We talk about how to support the body. But we were always under that scrutiny, and to some degree still are. We have to speak properly. But if we couldn't talk about the product and there was nothing on the label to tell the consumer, it was another way of keeping people ignorant of natural products. So the structure function claims are wonderful. They allow what that product supports in the human body. And we're really grateful for that. And so are the customers that are reading the labels and coming in and asking questions.
Well, that right there, DeShay just basically saved your industry.
Yes, it did.
Without that, you guys probably wouldn't be around. But it's also a good thing because there are snake oil salesmen that would be selling stuff,
absolutely,
and making false claims,
absolutely.
And you can't have that. So I'm glad this passed, and I'm glad that you guys are able to continue to survive.
Yeah, it's we have a wonderful industry. In fact, remember the very first person we ever had on for an interview was my friend Neil Levin.
Yeah,
Neil Levin from Now Foods.
Yep.
And what did we talk about? We talked about the regulatory, the oversight that we have in our industry. We are highly regulated. The FDA has all the power that they need before DSHEA to oversee us, and since DSHEA to oversee us. Do they use it? And when you talk about snake oil companies in the industry, you're going to have companies that aren't on the up and up, right? It comes down to the people running the company.
Right.
A company, either, just as in life, either somebody has integrity or they don't. A company either has integrity or it doesn't. So, this is a way, and more than anything, the companies in our industry that are family owned, that stick to the philosophy, that uphold the best of who we are, they don't want those companies that are not playing it, doing it right. They don't want them in the industry. But when DSHEA passed, Joe Bassett always said it's going to prove to be a double-edged sword. And that's when, because we were validated as an industry, big corporate interests wanted to get in and make the money. It was open territory.
See, that's the thing.
So it's been coming for a long time. And that's why I think at this point, so many customers are concerned, because we've lost some of our companies that were important to the industry, but now they're part of conglomerates. And a lot of people do not want to give their money conglomerates. But remember, this is a mindset of people that shop in stores like health food stores. And now we have more mass America coming in, which is cool. Well, they're filled with a lot of questions, and we're here to answer them. And a big part of, like somebody asked me recently, I thought Burt's Bees was supposed to be beeswax. And he said, my wife doesn't like canola oil. Now she won't let me use my... I said, well, this is the concern.
Right.
When things get dumbed down. So remember, these companies will take a brand that everyone's warm and fuzzy with, and oftentimes, and maybe not every time, but oftentimes as time goes on, the ingredients get dumbed down, and we're seeing it actively.
Yeah, so it's less, doesn't cost them as much to produce the product.
Exactly.
They keep
It's
the
all
price
about
the same or
yes.
go up, and they're making more money. But on the other hand, a lot of people get into business in the hopes of one day getting to the point where they can sell and make 2, 3, 4, 5 times what it's worth, so then they can retire.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, that's kind of the goal. So I don't begrudge everybody for doing that.
I don't either. But my issue has been to leave the independent mom pa stores in the mess that they created, and none of them ever looked back. Ever. They left all these independents to deal with what they had to juggle. A lot of them, look at our store. We've got all these companies around, these big stores selling supplements. Well, guess what? People still come to us because they know we care. We have the heart. We have the education. We have the experience.
That's
what we've got to get a lot of the smaller stores to understand. Just because something ends up in Kroger's and they're undercutting the retailer, the price that the retailer sells, doesn't mean you need to compete with it. I'd rather we get rid of a lot of those companies and we stick to the companies that we believe in. So I wrote down a list. There might be other companies out there in the country that I missed. And if there is, remind me. But the companies that are still family and privately owned, Now Foods, Blue Bonnet, Carlson, another family company. We haven't had them on, but I'm going to invite them. Nature's Plus, Natural Factors, we had them on. North American Herb and Spice, we had them on. That's the oregano company. Cellcore, we haven't had them on yet, but I'm hoping to have them on. Nature's Answer, wonderful herbal extract line that we've had all these years. It's family owned still. Child Life, great products for children, very clean, true to their philosophy. Red Remedies, we had Dan Chapman on from Red Remedies. And True Grace, this is a newer, younger company. They're doing nice things. We're supporting them. Fluorescence, we're going to have Fluorescence on. They're still owned by the same person. So there's a lot of wonderful companies that are upholding the quality of the philosophy of our industry.
All right, so I want to give you a little personal testimony about oregano oil. So okay. I didn't really know anything about oregano oil, but last Tuesday when Claudia was over for the podcast, I mentioned to her that I had a root canal that they say it's old, and they said it had to be retreated because it got infected down in there into the gum and the bone or whatever. And so this happened back in April, and they gave me amoxicillin, antibiotic.
Yes.
They said if it goes away, you're good. If not, we got to go in there, and they call it a retreat, basically, redo it again.
Right.
And I've been fine for 6 weeks or so. Well, last Tuesday when you came over, when it was done, I says, hey, before I call my dentist and he gives me more amoxicillin, I said, hey, I got this tooth issue. I explained it to Claudia, and she goes, go to the store, get some oregano oil, put it on a cotton swab, stick it down where it hurts in the pain area in your mouth, and sleep. And then in the morning, hopefully you didn't swallow it, which I never did.
Yeah.
Take it out and see if that helps. And I'm like, really? Oregano oil? She said, trust me, try it. I tried it. Within 2 days, the pain was a little bit there, a little dull, but here we are a week later.
Yeah.
No pain at all.
Yeah.
None.
Yeah.
So it's things like that because of your education. And you can get this at the mom and pops. You're not going to get that in the aisle of a big grocery store because it's some, kid making minimum wage. I could have went the old route and put antibiotics in there. Little did I know oregano oil does virtually the same thing, and I'm not going to have the side effects or the issues.
Right. So remember, antibiotics have a place, but it's fair to say many of our customers, when they come in, they've been on, I'll ask them, in the course of your life, how many antibiotics you've been on?
Oh.
Well, they can't even remember how many antibiotics they've been on. So antibiotics do have a place, but it's the overuse of them that has become the problem. And even a lot of doctors are admitting this. So the oregano oil, with all those beautiful properties that are antibacterial, antifungal, antiviral, antiparasitic, it's a beautiful plant that has so many purposes.
Yeah.
And so that's just one thing that we've learned over the years to try. Now, remember, you want to do it consistently.
I've been doing it every day.
There you go. So it's again, you're supporting your body.
I'm kind of rubbing it in my gums.
Yes. And you're supporting your body. And that's the beauty of nutrition.
All right. Dot put a comment up here. I agree with Claudia. Thank you for sharing this information. I only go to health food stores that I know care about people in quality.
Yeah, there you go.
Dot,
thanks,
you got
Dot.
It figured out. Dot, don't forget to share this video podcast. And then Friday, our old interview time at 11 a.m. That's when I post the audio podcast, which for some people, it's a lot easier to listen that way because you can just put it on your phone. You don't have to watch it. Although, we're pretty animated. So, all right, what else do you want to mention about this week before we talk about next week?
Basically the whole thing is, if you are embracing your health, go to the people that truly care, truly know the products, have the experience. This is like we talked about, whatever episodes ago. This is a skill. This is a skill we are teaching people. Mm-hmm. Self-healing is a skill. And so I encourage you, seek out the small mom and pop stores in your neck of the woods. And I just want to say, not all of them that claim to be health food stores still are. Whole Foods is Amazon.
Right.
And whenever people say they went to Whole Foods, I say, no, you went to Amazon. And that's okay. If you love Amazon, great. If you don't, and there's a lot of people that don't want to go that route.
Yeah.
And that's their choice.
That's fine.
So, find them in your neck of the woods or all over the United States, and they're waiting to help you and you can help them. That's the synergy. That's the give and take. So it's a beautiful thing.
Next week, who we got? Do we have a guest?
Next week, we're doing Vanessa, and she's an educator for Life Extension. Oh, Life Extension. Well, I should put them on the list. They're a great company, very innovative. They do a great job. We're proud to carry them. So that'll be a nice
So
interview.
we'll have products that I will pilfer. So tell Jim, get used to it, pal.
Yeah.
All right. Good stuff.
Anything
always,
you want to say last?
No, I just enjoy our time. I really enjoy this, and I look forward to more people sharing this, so you can educate more people, and hopefully we entertain them too in the process. So, like always, at the end,
one of these days, maybe I won't be hitting my microphone and fidgeting with my headsets.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that day's never coming. Never. All right, I'm going to give you the last word.
All right, thank you, Denny. Well, Denny and I are very grateful to be doing this together. And we're grateful that you're all joining us. And just, as always, keep the faith, share your love. A lot of people out there just need a smile. Just a simple smile can change somebody's day. So share your love, shine your light. And light is what it's all about. Light is a beautiful thing. So let's fill it. Let's fill everybody with light and love and get the word out there. Do what you can to feel better. There's all these beautiful ways to feel better outside of pharmaceuticals and surgeries and all these things. Always give your body a chance to do what God has created it to do. Give it a chance. You just need to know the right tools. We're here to teach you. So thank you for being with us. And have a great week, everybody. Peace.